Hello and welcome everyone to episode 185 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derrick, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm, of course, a freelance letterer extraordinaire, Brandon Bovia, and as I mentioned at the end of the show last week, I hosted my first panel ever about my job, and I straight up I got a nice little recording for that. So if you check my socials and check like my, you scroll down far enough, you'll find it. The audio is terrible, but it was a cool thing to do regardless, and it was about 45 minutes. So
nice. Yeah, I think that's well worth checking out, and I think there's still probably good stuff in there despite the poor audio, which it happens. It happens with that sort of thing. It's panels. It's hard to control that sort of thing, especially for a smaller con.
Like that for sure.
But speaking of cons, boy. I mean, we've said it a dozen times. I don't want to go into it. I don't think we need to expand upon it too often. But damn, does this 5-chapter-a-week setup work sometimes where you just get mini story arcs? And howdy, is that what we got this time? It's just perfectly handled. And
it's bookended.
So invested.
Yeah. No, dude, this is, like I said, I feel like once we got to like the Luffy Sanji fight, and I was like, this is where Whole Cake starts to really kind of play its hand, starts to show its colors. Like, I feel like it does such a good job of getting you really, just emotionally invested, right? Like you want to see things turn out all right. But it is such a tighter scope, compared to the last arc. And really, I feel like compared to just other kind of One Piece arcs in general, that we are dealing with some really just kind of deep personal stuff.
It is personal in a way that we have not felt since probably Water 7.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, it's dealing with the Straw Hats themselves, so that makes complete sense. It's you feel for Sanji, and I love how always, despite everything, he is still Sanji, and we get reason, like, backstory on that, which is interesting in and of itself. Like, there's a lot of elements here, and
well, it feels like because we're kind of at the end of the low point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of slowly building things kind of back together, and so it feels like Oda has spent the past like 20 odd chapters like deconstructing Sanji, and now this is like the reconstruction of Sanji.
Yeah, you can definitely see, like, by the end of this, things are turning. And there's a lot of interesting decisions that Sanji is going to have to make. That's going to make this arc fascinating to see how exactly... What do you do when your family of Nazis is going to be assassinated?
This is like, you hate them, but you don't want to leave them either. Right.
I mean, personally, I'm at the point it's like, nah.
Right. Kill him.
But, this is a different time. And and he is sort of made, as we've seen, kindness. Kindness is the core of Sanji that is something I've not really thought of. And I'll wait till we get into that part of stuff that so I think we can really discuss it, but let's just get into it because, boy, it's so much fun.
You're right. Yeah, this is great.
Chapter 851, Dog End. And get another, start out with a color spread right off the bat. And it looks like this is the 20th anniversary color spread based on Frankie's shoulders. So we get extremely pirate designs as they're hanging out underwater.
Yeah, I think that it's implied to be Fishman Island, I think, since we have the Kraken and we got Megalo back there.
Yeah, or at least approximations of them. Approximations of them. I love how everybody has a fur coat. Except Usopp.
This feels very... God, I love it when Usopp gets to feel like a producer.
He does the producer role so well.
Yeah. I do love the, like, I don't know, this just kind of getting everybody all fancied up. It's such a good look for the Straw Hats.
Mm-hmm. I'd say Sanji wears the look the best.
Yeah, he does. It is. It's a good moment for him to look that good.
Yeah. But into the chapter itself, it's time for some heartbreak. Because
Oh yeah. We said we're not done breaking Sanji yet. We will reconstruct him, but we have to break him a little more.
we gotta finish how this is all going. So, yeah, it's basically she Pudding here is very happy about the fact that it's like, we're gonna have a red wedding. You know.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
It's we're ready for that, and just make sure you don't get blood on the cake. Momo would probably destroy the entire building if that sort of thing happened. And then she demonstrates a 36 caliber Walker percussion pistol, firing what they call candy jackets, powerful enough to completely pierce even a shield-bearing soldier in heavy armor, and works well enough against Vinsfolks and your metal bodies, which explains why Reiju is actually injured. She was shot by Pudding. Which
wow,
would catch you off guard.
Yeah, and then of course, like the thing for me that really just kind of brings this whole scene together is the way that she's just kind of like, oh God, like I can't wait for tomorrow. The look on his face. He's going from absolutely trusting me to having a gun pointed between his eyes, and like this is where Pudding just goes full like mask off.
Yeah, and actually kind of shows her acting skills, because these are faces Sanji's made before.
Yeah.
The wild, over the top ones, and they're laughing at him. That he's just, you just see him out there holding the flowers, holding the basket. We
don't see his eyes. They're shadowed out, and he doesn't say a word.
No, it's like. And Razor's not really saying anything. It's just, and she's even going back over. It's like, that's, talk about how he took off the facial pack. He looked embarrassing. A few tears, and he was like, putty in my hands. Men are so stupid. He pulled me close and managed to squeak out the words, and does this like puffed up cheeks. You're my salvation. Let's get married. It's like, what a miserable proposal. It was so funny.
They're just laughing at him, and it's just the contrast between just sort of like indoors, inside, and they're all laughing, they're all having the time of their life. Sanji's out here in the rain, and then like he's trying to light a cigarette. He's trying to hit the lighter, but he's in the middle of the rain, so he just goes chick 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 all over the page. And I think the thing for me, and of course, again, while all this is happening, Pudding's just going on and on and on. Like who in their right mind would ever get married to a disgraceful failure like Lou, or like you? Bring me a proper prince. And then this is one of my favorite scenes in the entire manga. I'm being completely serious when I say this, because you see Sanji still all the time, all this while trying to light his cigarette, and it's like the rain is putting out the fire, but then it's like. You get to those last panels, and he's just crying to himself in silence, and it's like it's the tears that are actually getting the light to go out.
Yeah.
Which like it hit me that like One Piece is, I feel like, usually so kind of larger than life and bombastic in the way that it shows emotion, and so like seeing this scene of Sanji just kind of quietly crying to himself there's nothing else like it. Like. There is this kind of silent suffering. I feel like is not really a part of like One Piece's like visual language. So I it's really striking. Like the fact that Oda uses it here,
and it also ties in well to how Sanji's often portrayed, where he's upset, he's mad about something, and he'll kind of bury the feelings by first lighting the cigarette, taking a puff, letting it go. Then talking. Like it's how he just sort of contextualizes his next big emotion, and he's not able to do that. This has broken him that much. He's just that heartbroken by it, just that fooled by everything, and it's heartbreaking. It's utterly heartbreaking, and you despise Pudding by the end of this.
No, you just, I feel like, the Sanji alongside us as the audience, we've been kind of completely manipulated into thinking that she was just the sweet little girl, but no, now you want justice, right?
Yeah, right.
Now that Sanji knows the truth, now that we know the truth, it's like, okay, how do we make this right?
Exactly. But then we move on to Brooke, who is by far the MVP of this set. My God.
This feels like the most hype Brooke has ever gotten in like a single set on this podcast.
I mean, he is standing up. His skull cracked a bit from the fight, which is how they usually show his battle damage. He's missing a tooth. And that panel of him facing down Big Mom and Prometheus,
like
and
lightning going everywhere.
Yeah, and they're actually looking scary and like, oh my God, it's so freaking badass. Especially like the tattered cloak, the thing over his shoulder, the sword. It's like, this is like final boss territory. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, and he's doing this by himself. Yeah. And it is not only like he is physically standing up to Big Mom. He's got this really great speech too, because Big Mom is just kind of like, like, why are you more interested in copying the stone than rescuing Sanji? And I love that, like Brooke is kind of like standing up for him. He's like, Sanji's very kind-hearted, so I knew he was not going to return to us, no matter what trap you set for him. His kindness knows no bounds. We'll come back to that. Once he's made his mind to sacrifice himself for somebody, he will not change his ways. And God, the speech is just so good. And he goes on. He's like, our captain is a man who will always trust in his own beliefs when he acts. So whatever happens will be decided by them. And so Brooke is basically saying he's doing this. He's copying the poneglyph in the worst case scenario. So that if Sanji does not return, we just need to worry about it because we will have gained something tremendous for our trouble. And he's just talking, talk your stuff, Brooke. I love the scene.
Yeah, we will have taken your road poneglyph. Is like that worst case scenario you envision is rather tame. Sanji not returning, that's the worst thing you can imagine. Nobody dies. Everyone might die. It's like, young lady. I love how he calls her young lady. Young lady, yes. What kind of idiot draws up plans with the expectation of dying?
No, this entire spread, like this entire back and forth is just fantastic.
Oh, so friggin' good.
Yeah. Especially knowing what we know at the end of this set, that there's sort of an extra reveal on top of this, I think is just great.
Yeah. And then we just get more of Chopper and Carrot torturing Brule, tickling her to find out, okay, which mirror goes to the castle? Where's it go? And she's like, look, I'll tell you, but I don't remember every single one. You just ask the stupid things yourselves. The mirrors know what they're reflecting. It's like, wait, really? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Mirrors, which one of you leads past the castle wall? Me. Oh, me too. I see this. It's like, wait, they actually answered? So, do any of you guys see these guys? It's like, we don't know what they look like. And it's like, no. Carrot's like, I can draw faces. I'm great at that. So let me just draw faces and see if they can help us find our friends. So,
that has a great payoff.
Yes, it does. Progress is being made. So it is all good. But we then take this opportunity to return to Pudding, and she's just still going on with the villain speech, where it's like, I gotta be careful you don't die of blood loss. Plus, I don't want you telling anybody about the secret that you just saw. So 1 second, and she takes her hand, dives it into Reiju's head, and it's all kind of mushy. And it's like, wait, what's happening? And she pulls out a film reel, revealing that she has the memo fruit, because inside every person contains a film of memories inside their head. Anything that she wants to take out, she can pull, cut, edit, bam. What villain speech? What
exactly.
Reveal? Reiju knows nothing.
It makes sense that, because I mentioned this last week, that it was like, why would she be saying all of this? I know she's, like that's the stereotypical mustache twirling villain thing to do, is to just, kind of, you have your grand speech about all your plans and stuff. But like, no, she did it full well knowing that she could remove her memories, that this conversation never happened. But, of course, that she didn't account for Sanji overhearing it.
Yeah.
But I also think, just like with sugar, the devil fruits that affect other people's memories are horrifying. Like, yeah. I think that is kind of scarier than, any one singular, like being the strongest guy. I think manipulating people's feelings is like somehow even more terrifying.
There are so many ways to just completely get what you want out of that. And it's like, how far can you take this? that's the thing. Yeah. She's just like, has this stray memory, and it's like, let's put this here, put it there, and it's like, oh my god. That's
and that she can grab other people's memories, and like, that is, why aren't you the emperor?
Not much one for combat is the kind of the big thing there, but you think like, if she was subtle enough, she could go against Big Mom, but I think Big Mom would be it's probably too overwhelming. Pudding doesn't come across as somebody strong.
Yeah, and I do feel like, I mean, we've seen this before, that like, not even just with Logia types, but even with Paramecias, that like, if your hockey is strong enough, you can kind of brute force it.
Yeah.
So she can't do it to everybody, I assume.
Probably not, but also like we get that little shot from the outside because she's affected Reiju, but not Sanji, and we don't see Sanji anymore. He's already gone. But I love the detail that he left the flowers but took the food.
Yes.
The food is not going to go to waste. That's such a good detail.
Of course he wouldn't.
Yeah, of course. But it's time to cut back to Luffy and Nami, and he is like, Nami is being grossed out by how much of Luffy's arms are about to rip off.
He's just bleeding. Like, Luffy's wrapped himself even more in all of his arms.
I'm almost there. We got...
and I love... Opera's like, this guy's crazy.
What the hell am I looking at? It's like, okay, hey, you girl, Mama told me to make sure you cough up where Lola's at, so spill the beans. It's like, no, I'm not going to tell you anything. All right, I'm just going to go to torture. It's like, no, don't make it so casual. All right, here's the deal. Every 5 seconds, I'll shoot you with a crossbow. If you feel like talking, talk. It's like, no, that'll kill me. It's like, no, better get talking then. It's like, hey, don't you do that. You're not going to get that far. Don't worry, Nami. I'm going to have these arms ripped off in less than 5 seconds. What? No, I don't want that either. And then they both yell at her
in unison.
Stop being selfish. Poor Nami.
Yes. The sequence is so horrible. So much body horror could have implied here.
Seriously. And then, out of nowhere, it's like, hey, is anybody here? It's like, wait, what are you? You're not supposed to be inside the castle. Oh, there's don't be difficult. There's battles and chaos all over. I'm sorry to do this. And then 5,000 breaking in. As soon as you hear that, it's like, you know who it is. And here's finally, here comes Jinbei knocking out Opera with a single punch. And here to rescue Luffy and Nami. That is amazing. What a way to just signal the shift in fortunes.
Yeah, no, I feel like this chapter kind of had it all. Like, again, we started at Sanji's lowest point, and then we moved to Brook kind of reinforcing his and the crew's belief in Sanji to, kind of building up to this moment of catharsis. Kind of our first real moment of catharsis in a little while. Jinbei's here. Everything's gonna be all right.
The yes at the end is very much the fan base at that point. It's
exactly. It's like, yes, Oh man, and it's really telling too that like we saw Jinbei arrive, kind of a little bit before Whole Cake proper started, and then he was kind of the one thing we had not seen like hide nor hair of, in like 20 chapters. So it was like, okay, all right. Here he is. We're finally back.
Brilliant. We do have an SBS to cap things off. First one's a question about the minks because, like, hey, they eat meat. Are they cannibals? It's like, no. I made a point. It's all about non-furred animals. We're not going to eat ones that have our characteristics, but other animals. Your birds, your hippos, your lizards, your alligators. Those are fine.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So they could eat Baron Tamago, is what you're saying.
Yes, they could, and the crocodile guy was given a bit of a soul.
Oh yeah,
that didn't want to eat carrot.
Oh, we'll eat you. So
yeah, they will. And then we have a crazy one. It was like, hey, I bought this figure of Nami. Where should I put it? And it's like they actually have a picture of the figure where it's her in a bikini pouring water on herself. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I love that Oda goes and says, I don't know, man. It's like, what are you doing?
And then confirmation that yes, back in chapter 651, the three-eyed girl was indeed Pudding, and you could even see Nitro, her little slime buddy there, which I forgot that she was even fully shown. I thought she was just in shadow.
Yeah.
That's impressive that you're like, Oda showed off her entire face, and I did not click with me. Granted, it's been a while. It's been long enough that you kind of forget.
I would even say that like she's drawn kind of differently in that panel. It feels like Oda hadn't quite finalized her design yet. Like it's obviously Pudding, but just like the face and sort of eye shape, I feel like the proportions aren't quite what we have now. So I do feel like it would be fair to not quite remember, or you would at least be like, hey, that girl kind of looks like Pudding. Maybe they're related somehow, or some such. But no, it's just straight up.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and get to chapter 852, Germa's Failure. And I love artist Robin. That's a good fit for her.
It is.
Art critic Bear approvingly praises Robin's gallery exhibition, where it's a realistically drawn chopper with a bunch of, like, in her pose, called Kawaii, and a bunch of minks are looking it over in a duck. It's just like, oh my god, it's so
this
ridiculous.
is an oddly specific one, but it's great.
Yeah, I want to see the picture that says that has the label "You've done a terrible thing." What is that?
What is that about? Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Not a clue.
Yeah, I see some flowers, but yeah, no.
Oh well. But we get into the chapter itself, where we're in the medical room, where Reiju's being taken care of, and the doctor is remarking, is like, man, what incredibly resilient and regenerative skin. Their augmented humans are a true marvel. So a simple rest, and you'll be just fine to attend a tea party tomorrow.
Just sleep it off.
Yeah, just sleep it off. Report to the Vin Smokes. She's going to stay over here. I'm going to be over here, so we're fine. And Reiju's laying in bed, and Sanji's there to visit, and she stands up and reveals that her leg is bandaged, and she's trying to remember what's going on. It's like, wait, I was walking around the castle and I ran across some soldiers shouting about an infiltrator. Then I got attacked, I think. And Sanji's like, doesn't add up, does it? Feels strangely piecemeal. That's because your memories were replaced. I'll tell you what really happened. It's like doesn't even have doesn't even last that long. It's just Sanji's immediately there to show, no, this is what's actually happening.
Yeah. Like let's lay it all out here. Well, and I think it's important for him, but it's important for Reiju to know too, right? That like, hey,
very much so.
Even if I don't technically like you guys, you should probably all know that we're all about to die.
Yeah, very much so. And then we have the crazy step necessary to escape the book.
Yeah,
where it has to be set on fire, so all the people in there are now running out on fire, and Jinbei's there to splash Luffy and Nami as they come out, and everybody else is burned to a crisp, but they're okay. They're saved. A little crispy, and Nami's shirt has been burnt off, so she has to cover up.
Yeah. What else is new?
Of course.
But yeah, I'm trying to remember. She said, "What do I feel like I've been through this before?" What is she referencing there?
I don't know.
I'm trying
I'm
to
sure that
think.
I'm sure there's like some sort of situation where she got burnt up or something like that. I couldn't tell you though.
Yeah, yeah, I'm drawing
Nothing's
a
coming to
blank.
mind what that might be a reference to, but yeah. But Luffy's all happy. He's like, "Hey, you saved me from having to rip off my arm, so thank you for that, Jinbei."
Thank God. I mean, hey, his arms look fine, despite the
Yeah.
fact that they were bleeding out a second ago.
The water washed it all off, but I do like
Yeah.
the little
Oh,
notes that. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I think we're about to note the same thing. Jinbei was like, "Our first meeting was in a prison too, wasn't it?"
We're gonna stop meeting like this, like really.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do like the little note that Nami looks over at a passed out guy, notes his clothes, and then the next one you see her tying it up so she actually has a new dress. Which at first I wasn't sure about the design, but I kind of like it where it's sort of ninja-ish, where it's
Yeah.
you have
Kind
enough
of
for like an
puffy.
overall type shirt, but the pants are
Yeah,
poofy,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
so it's not a
I
bad
I
look.
missed that. I did not notice that at all. My first read through of this.
But yeah, Jinbei breaks it down because my Sun Pirates are affiliated with Big Mom's operation. So and they're immediately like, "Wait, so is this a rebellion?" He's like, "Oh no, yeah, that's totally a rebellion. No turning back now," and just laughs about it.
Yeah, yeah. I look, dude. Jinbei gives no craps at this point. He's like, oh, Luffy's here. I'm out.
I love how it's
Even
just
Nami's
like I'm turning
yeah.
in my I quit. Screw you. I'm out. And now it's like, oh, you want to get back at me? Pfft, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, even Nami's like, on Fishman Island, you said you had a position to uphold, and you just saw me abandon it. He's all right. He's on board.
Yeah, I'm done.
That's it. We said it. We talked all about that on Fishman Island about oh, I've got things to take care of. Jinbei's all right.
Yeah.
Things have been taken care of.
Yeah.
We're done.
I guess so. But Luffy already falls to the floor feeling hungry. Is like, and Jinbei's like, at a time like this, really? It's like, hey, don't ask. He expends 3 times the energy of a normal person just by being alive and breathing.
It's true.
And Luffy's immediately like, I'm not complaining. I didn't say I wanted anything to eat because he's still under the strict rules. I'm not eating anyone's food but yours. So I'm waiting on Sanji.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it's of course notable that the second Luffy gets freed, it's I have to go see Sanji. Like, take care, Nami Jinbei. Like, he's just gonna go. The castle's full of so many powerful enemies, and he's just like, all right, just gonna go running off.
yep, there he goes. And this is a wild section for Luffy when you really break it down.
It is.
But instead, we go back to Sanji and Reiju, who says, wait, you believe me? He's like, of course, I know you wouldn't lie to me, but I never suspected it was this bad. I had been sniffing around after Pudding because she was just too good to be true. So Reiju actually suspected her.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Good on
Sanji
her.
just sort of breaks it down. It's like, all this time I assumed that if I accepted the marriage, it would save Luffy and the others. And it turns out that was never in the cards to begin with. I thought I could just sacrifice myself and everything would be fine. But what kind of fantasy world was I living in? And Reiju's just like, even father was careless and arrogant. But in my opinion, it's timely. It's time for Germa to stop existing. It ought to be outright destroyed. And it's like, what?
Oh yeah, yeah. We were talking before, but like we kind of didn't really know what to make of Reiju at this point, and she hadn't really said much of anything. But now I feel like in this scene we're finally going to get like some good kind of characterization for her, where I feel like you could kind of intuit that she wasn't as on board as the brothers, right, and as much as Judge. But she's kind of ready to die. He's like, I'll pretend I have no idea what's going on and just let Big Mom's plan get carried out. And so,
Yeah, it's like, wait.
and of course,
What?
yeah,
She's like, hey, join the Straw Hats, get away from this place. It's like, what about the Baratier? It's like, oh, you can worry about that once you're safely away from here. Stay and all of you will die. There's a memory in my head that I will never forget, a huge fight between father and mother. I only understood what it meant much later. when you 4 boys were going to be born, she was steadfastly against turning you into emotionless machines. And we get a flashback of her confronting Judge. It's like, they're my children too. If you erase their hearts, they won't be human. It's like, no. Judge immediately is like, yeah, exactly. I want them to be monsters. Yeah. That's all that matters for us to win this war and give my children the greatest power possible. And he
Father of the
forced, year. Oh, yeah, totally. Ultimately forced her to get the surgery so it can happen. But Sanji's mother found pills in an attempt to halt the ambitions. Medicine power strong enough to affect the manipulated bloodline elements, and causes her to just cough up a ton of blood. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough. They found the abnormalities for all of Sanji's brothers. That's what made them superior to the ordinary humans, except for Sanji. He's the only one a bit different, and that's why he stood out from the others. That's why he wasn't like the others. He's feeding animals. He shouldn't have these emotions, and all the while that his mother was growing weaker and weaker because of the side effects of the literal poison she took in order to make this happen.
And I like that, like, you have this bit where, like, Sanji is immediately like, do you mean that, like she died because of me? And Rage is like, no, do not take it that way. She was truly happy over how you turned out. You understanding that, like, Sanji, he's gonna blame himself for this. And it's like, no, like, she chose to do this.
And I love these flashbacks where
it was the right thing too. Yeah.
Just that little extra characterization with Sanji's mom, where she's talking to Rachel. She's like, "Oh, Sanji cooked for me." He's like, "Hey, guess what Sanji told me today?" And he's like, "Get better soon." He's like, "Oh, he's the sweetest boy in the world."
So cute, man.
And of course, Judge couldn't forgive it, blamed you for everything. His mother eventually died, and that's why. And you have the whole thing. It's like Sanji's a worthless failure, and Reizur's like, "No. You're not a failure. Mother gave her life in resistance to protect you and the emotions you were born with. That's what you stand for, Sanji. It's why you were born kinder and gentler than anyone." And that tracks. It's not something I ever thought about, but it tracks because he's prickly. But that's the training with his father coming through and trying to establish itself, where he fights with Zoro and whatnot, but the way he's able to read people, the way he was able to track Robin and forgive her for what seemed to be a betrayal, the way he will not hit a woman because of what will happen to Zeph, the way he acts around everybody. There's a toughness to him, but he cares. He is kind, and it affects him. And it's one of those things like, is he? And then I started going down through the list. Like, yeah, he really is.
Yeah, no, because it's one of those lines that kind of sounds at first blush, you're kind of like, I don't know about that, but like, no. And I feel like that's always been kind of very purposeful on Oda's part, that to show that, like, Sanji is, and I kind of like to think of him as maybe kind of the most insecure of all the Straw Hats, and I feel like that's why he has such a good dynamic with Eva and the newcomer, because they clock him like immediately, and so they're able to tease him and kind of mess with him a little bit, and of course he has that appreciation, but of course he's going to show it by saying, like, I don't ever want to see you again, I'm just going to flip you off, and like, like, I'm here for the women.
Yeah. And I like the indication that no, he cares. He's acting like he doesn't.
Yeah.
But if it came to the newcomer,
but he does.
He would fight for them for his life.
We didn't talk about this initially because I'd forgotten to, but somebody in our YouTube comments a couple episodes back mentioned this about Duval, about how the first time we saw Duval, he was in an iron mask, which is just the perfect kind of irony. Tying back to Sanji's childhood. It's just that nice extra little layer. But the whole situation with Duval, I think, with the way that, like, Sanji kicked him into being hot. And that was
exactly.
It was sort of his way of saying, like, I'm done with this, but also, like, like, he's a hater, but he's gonna help people while he hates.
Look at how he protected Kinemon. Had that felt that responsibility.
Kinemon
for Kinemon.
Yes, that okay. Oh my gosh, I was thinking. I knew there was another example. Kinemon's the other one where it's just like he has that sense that he just can't let things go. Right? He can't let people go like that. So like, and I think that this all kind of ties around into like kind of his mother's final act of rebellion of kind of instilling this kindness, like to spread good in the world, even through this one person, even if your other children are kind of being biologically engineered to be terrible little monsters. I think that Sanji is sort of the kind of the result of hope. I feel like it feels. It feels the right amount of grandiose. It doesn't feel like too much like, oh, you are like the destined child or anything. It still feels very personal.
Yeah, he's not destined for anything. He just was that one act of rebellion, given seed and blossoming, and
exactly
really see what could be done with it. And it's just a wonderful bit of character writing that's like, you wonder after all this time, is this consistent? And yeah, when you really break it down, it is consistent. I mean, even as far back as the first time we saw him, where he
with Geen.
Fed Geen.
Yeah.
And what do you know? Seeing that act of kindness is what convinced Luffy, I want him on my crew.
Yeah. Well, of course, if Luffy sees somebody
feed
somebody. Anybody. Yeah. It's like, that's it, man. Like we're friends for life.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I actually think that I feel like in a long-term kind of way, again, this is this line from Reiju, which we've been harping on for a few minutes. I feel like in a lot of other manga, it would be the kind of thing that like an author just puts in there kind of haphazardly, where it's like, it sounds grandiose, but doesn't really line up with like their actions. I feel like,
it's one of those things where you have this idea, it's like, oh, that's perfect, and you're like, you have to squeeze it a little bit, but I think I can make this work, and this feels purposeful on Oda's part.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This feels like Oda cashing in a bunch of checks.
Yeah,
that he had been collecting, pretty much since Baratier. So to kind of see. To see Sanji's character really get assessed and come into the forefront like this, I cannot give it high enough praise. It is so good.
And to immediately shift over to Luffy asking, where did he go? Well, actually, it's not even him asking. It's like, where did basically the castle's in lockdown, being like, where did he go?
Yeah.
He started the basement prison library, passed through the first floor already, head to the second floor, and then Luffy has a guy around the neck with his arm, which is still bleeding from him trying to rip it off.
Still bleeding out, yes.
He's like, tell me, damn it, where is Sanji? He is wreaking havoc on Big Mom's crew.
After himself, what happened to him, right?
While like, starving.
While starving, while also like having
adrenaline.
Just fought an army. Yeah, he's running on pure adrenaline at this point. All because he refuses to eat Sanji's, to eat anybody's food but Sanji's. Mm-hmm. So it's and I like that. Meanwhile, everybody else is kind of getting with in the treasure repository. We're getting like Smoothie kind of finding out like, oh, Jinbei's rebelling too.
Yeah, and that's the key thing, is that the reason I think that a lot of this is so successful is because of the way Big Mom treats her crew or her family. Yeah. Nobody wants to upset her. So a lot of the things that are happening, they don't want to let her know, because now it's outside the initial plan. So Smoothie,
and it's like,
don't let Mama know. It'll have an effect on tomorrow's plan. That's one of her dearest desires. Mm-hmm. And that's smart in that case. It's like, let it happen, but we need to do this. And, we need to fix this before she finds out, so get it under control.
Yeah.
But
I feel
in a more direct way it happens with Opera later.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah. I feel like if you're somebody who's like ever been in kind of like an abusive relationship, or kind of, if you grew up with, maybe parents who weren't the best, you could kind of understand that sort of walking on eggshells feeling of, if something bad happens, you don't want to own up to it. You don't want to say anything because you don't want to deal with the consequences, so you just gotta bottle it up. And here we have like 130 odd children who all kind of understand that, like, yeah, my mom is a kaiju and she'll rampage just because she's hungry, right? And so just the idea that, like, if any of this goes wrong, and and I think seeing that Big Mom is willing to let so much slide because she's looking so much forward to this, that this is sort of the one thing on her mind, so that if this doesn't go the way she wants, it's
Yeah, very much so. But then we go back to Reiju and Sanji, and she's just like, hey, flee. Abandon Germa is nothing more than a destructive force clinging to the glories of its past. The world does not need Germa. All Big Mom cares about is our scientific power. I doubt she has any interest in in the life of your mentor, so she's not going to bother with Zeph. It's father and the brothers who are threatening that restaurant. They're the ones who are going to die. So let them die. Let me die. Leave. Be happy. So
yeah, she's. I feel like I understand where Reiju's coming from with this. Like your very existence, right? Like you should have nothing to do with this, and that we should, it's best for everybody if we just take the fall. And of course, because Sanji has that inherent kindness to them, that he's just like, I hate them, but like, why do you have to die?
And she's like, and this gives us our explanations for how she kind of works. She's like, I have my emotions, but Father has augmented me, so I can't disobey. So my hands are stained with blood, so I also deserve death. And by the way, those bracelets, I swapped them out. They're not actually going to explode on you. So there's nothing keeping you here. Get it together. Look at what really matters to you. You have these wonderful friends, and you're never going to meet anybody like them again. Go. And it ends with
that's the push.
Desperately looking for Sanji.
Yeah. I feel like that really is the push that he needed. That's like, again, like there's nothing stopping you now at this point. Like
here's all these emotional blocks for why you don't want to do these things. Here are the logical reasons why it will work out if you do this.
Yes. Yeah. Very much so.
And while I was always unsure about Reiju, but I was always like, I think there's something good there. There's unless he's pulling our leg, there's something there. For it, and to see it finally come out is very nice, especially since we've lost Pudding.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's something I hadn't really thought about at first, but upon reflection, sort of the idea that like Reiju's kind of stuck in her own way, right? In that if she can't disobey Judge, but she still has her emotions, so that she understands what she's doing is wrong, but she can't do anything about it. And so I think that's why, with the situation with Big Mom, where it's like, oh, like, this whole thing's gonna collapse, let it. She's also been kind of suffering in silence in her own way, and so that, like, and that this is sort of, she sees it as the best way to kind of atone for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems to be the case. But yeah, great chapter. But we do have an SBS as well. And right off the bat, somebody asks, hey, why doesn't Sanji get all hard eyes with Reiju? I could even maintain his reason if he saw her naked. It's like, and Oda's basically like, dude, it's it's his sister. Like, it's his sister.
Wrong with
like, this isn't that type of manga, bro. It's like,
yeah, exactly. It's like, wouldn't it? Well, I love that there have been plenty of things that Oda has put in this manga that we were like, hey, man, that's kind of creepy. And then Oda's over here is like, I know this is Sanji we're talking about, but wouldn't it be creepy if he was perping out about his own sister? So, like,
yeah, I have my older sister. All we ever do is scream and fight, so I don't know what's up with those other manga that has that not happened, but
well, out of all the lines that have been crossed, I it's very funny that Oda draws the line at incest. That's all I'm saying. Which is a line that other manga and other works from Japan and elsewhere seeming, they don't care. But I find it just that's Oda's line is just, it's very funny.
Yeah. Then we have about who's the fastest in a 50-meter dash, who would come in first, and Brook is the fastest because he's the lightest. Frankie is definitely the slowest, and despite the coward group, Usopp and Nami are towards the back.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't really have much to say about this one with Big Mom's a woman, but in Japanese she uses masculine pronouns. Why is that? And it's a past. It's something that was once used equally by both men and women, so I didn't really think it was that unusual. All right. And apparently he made up a pronoun for for the new comma.
Oh yeah, where it's so the generic sort of neutral personal pronoun in Japanese is watashi. And the one that Eva uses is batashi. completely just a nonsense word. But yeah, I was also one of those people who thought it was odd that Big Mom uses ore. Since you don't, even in fiction, I feel like you don't hear women use it that often. But yeah,
interesting.
That's good to know.
I guess it seems to be showing how she's a bit old school.
Yeah,
which we have a little bit more hints about in this set as well. But let's get into the chapter itself as we get closer to that with chapter 853, Not Here. And brilliant suggestion, a request from Hugh Mori, where Bartolomeo and Gambia are tearfully preaching the greatness of the Straw Hats to sea turtles. And they're all crying.
I think the fact that they're all super invested is what's great about it.
Yeah, that's the best part. And then it is weirdly adorable to get into the chapter itself and have Big Mom blushing as she's like rubbing up against Brooke, and just like, oh, you're so cute. Every square inch of you bones, and yet you're miraculously alive. You put up quite a good fight, Soul King. No wonder the chess peacekeepers are so afraid of you. And it reminds me so much of Looney Tunes, of the giant, the abominable snowman with "I will love it and hug it and kiss it and squeeze it."
Yep.
And they're just it is so that coded.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's just great too that, like, for whatever reason, that Big Mom has just been fascinated by Brooke this entire time.
Has him stripped down to his boxers because I want to make sure.
It's just what a predicament he's found himself in.
And we get some official introductions because there's a reason the certain three were not affected by the Soul King's powers. Her hat is known as Napoleon, and of course we know Zeus and Prometheus already. It's because
I love that panel of Prometheus is so funny.
Yeah, he's just like, yay, it's me. But they have her soul, so they might as well be a part of her. Their souls are on a whole other level, so it's not just somebody else's soul, it's her soul. And that adds an extra wrinkle. That's fun.
It does. Yeah, I understand the hat and the cloud. How did she get a piece of the sun?
That is a good question. How does the angry sun work in Mario Brothers? That's
right. Yeah, it feels very kind of like that.
You kind of just go through with it, but
yeah.
But yeah, the peacekeepers have stripped Brooke down. There's nothing inside of his clothes, nothing in the tube, but he has taken nothing. So he's not gotten. He's like, sorry, I've just suspected you. And he's like, oh, such a disgrace. It's like, oh gosh, he didn't even get a chance to get the Poneglyph stuff. He's like, nah, can't have you stealing my Tamate box or copies of my Poneglyph either. So don't want anyone making off with that and getting to Raftel again. That would be stupid, wouldn't it? I'm not going to screw up like I did with Roger. He used that strange ability to hear the voice of all things and read the stone, but I got a sweet secret weapon of my own who will one day wield that power. The next to reach Raftel will be us. And who's she speaking of? White Pudding.
Of course. Yeah. Well, interestingly, she says, like, I'm just a half-blood, and so that there's no guarantee that her power will develop, and that power, I guess, is, that of the rare blood of the three-eyed people.
Yeah, that is an entire race of itself, which I don't think was on the list.
No, it was not.
Okay, so
I think to keep jumping back to like the slave trade list back on Saboti, I think Minx was the last one that we hadn't seen.
Okay, that's
but
something even rarer that's not even part of the slave trade. That's a hell of a sentence.
Yeah. But yeah, interestingly, that somehow, pudding is kind of the key to all this. Assuming, that how this all works.
It seems to be. But, And Brooke here is still under the assumption that she's, still nice. It's like,
You're right, yeah.
Pudding's like, oh, I got to keep up the appearances here. So at least they caught him. So, all right. So I feel a bit shy bringing it up here. So can I talk to you in my room? It's like, oh, of course. And I like all the layers of what everybody knows at this point.
Yeah. There's some, I feel like, weird bits of information kind of flying around here.
Oh, but then we get to back to Pedro, who is still fighting Tamago, or rather Viscount Hiyoko, who I thought was some other member, but as we see here, no, he has an egg fruit, which every time he's cut in half, he evolves. So
yeah, he's a Pokemon.
Yeah, I what the hell? Because that's the thing. I thought he died because he got split in half, and then he's like, "All right,
and the egg came out. It's like that's it. That's all of him."
But no, that yolk bubbles into another form, and that's how he evolves. And now he's turned, and so he goes from Baron Egg to a Viscount Chick, and now with this, he's about to become a Count Chicken, Niwatori. And that he just gets stronger each time. He's a true knight. Once he's hatched, he will have the power that you can only dream of. So he gets stronger every time he's cut. And
Pedro's like, no.
It's like, I'm going to stop him. We're going to take care of this. And it's like, all right, fine, I'll stop. And he pulls out even more explosives. I got a nice crowd of soldiers around, so we'll do this. The perfect bait. And he just lights them all off, sends them all flying. We got a little pecans. Niwatori is then flying.
How much dynamite does he have? Like, dude is strapped. Dude is straight up just... He is packing so much heat.
It's amazing, but I love the detail that the smoke clears and you can see a cracked mirror, and it's revealed that Pedro did that to escape into the mirror world because they found him. It's like, hey, over here, let's go with us. And that was his distraction to get away, but all those things also think he's dead.
Yep.
So, that's good. That is good. I love how they're using Brûlée to such an effect. This is their counterattack.
Poor Brûlée. Like her power was like at first scary, but is now just kind of a convenient, like kind of fast travel button.
Yeah, very much so. The key to sneaking around everything.
Yeah.
God. So they catch each other up. They hear about Luffy and Nami getting caught. They've got to find out what happened to Brooke. So let's just hope we got the Poneglyph tracing. So we got to rescue everybody else. They're in danger. And Carrot holds up the drawing she made. It's like, hey, tell us where to find everybody. And she drew everybody in the form of a
shoujo manga. Like,
yeah, shoujo.
Like,
yeah.
Not even shoujo manga, but like 70s shoujo. So just kind of like, what kind of manga do they have upon Zou?
Oh God, the lips. Luffy has the same lipstick as Nami.
It's great. Yeah, they all like it feels like Oda somehow captured the perfect, like, somebody who like learned how to draw from growing up with 70s shoujo. And it's like, it's good art, but it's just like a very kind of specific style, and it feels like the perfect fit for Carrot somehow.
It does.
It's just, everybody's beautiful.
I love how she turned Brooke's afro into a Marge Simpson hair poof.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Great bit there, but
yeah,
that's how they're finding out. It's like, oh, that girl with the long hair just ran past. I love how it's good enough that also they actually do recognize everybody.
Yeah, they still know.
That's where they learned that Nami is with Jinbei. So
yeah, they're like, wait, what, Jinbei?
Yeah, good there. And all the while, Luffy is still rampaging because they need backup from the ministers. We cannot stop Straw Hat Luffy, and he's still just calling out, Sanji, it's me. You got to hear me out. help me, come to me. And that's when somebody grabs his arm and yanks him in the door.
It's wild that I was not expecting Luffy trying to rip his arms off, and like the injury he sustained from that has so much continuity.
Very much so. He did a number on himself, to be sure. I wonder how much that is going to affect things going forward. I mean, he's still beating down everybody, but he's working off pure adrenaline.
Well, I think once he gets a meal in him, he might be okay.
Yeah. And turns out, he was rescued by Reiju. It's like, hey, I'm in a rush. And he's like, no, you're looking for Sanji, aren't you? He was here just moments ago. So, okay, where'd he go? We've been tricked. Pudding lied to us. She wants to kill him. So we need to stop him. It's like, oh, are you all right? You got hurt. He notices the fact that she's bandaged. And she's also just in underwear.
No? just presumably.
Presumably, it's t-shirt and underwear. That is all that's on her at this moment. That is a
man. I feel like there's something here. Like Reiju, it was CPR, but like kissed Luffy on the lips, and now here he is, just getting a full view. Like I love that this kind of keeps happening to him specifically.
I mean, it's not the first one he's seen naked between Nami's happiness punch and
Boa and
Boa,
Hancock. Yep.
Oh God! But also, I'm not sure I like the idea that is so small that you could, and the fact that the shirt is open, that you could almost view that as, we're just going to censor.
Right. Yeah, which is why I was like, is that a shadow or is it underwear? I'm not sure.
We're going to go with underwear.
I think for the age rating of this manga, I don't think Oda would do that.
Yeah. And she's like, hey, I'm fine, but don't worry. My brother knows about pudding. It's like, oh, he knows? Only very recently. I tried to convince him to get away from the island at once, but Sanji was worried about disaster befalling the hostages in the East Blue and your crew as well. It's like, oh, you mean the Barate? I know them. If they're really in danger, I'm going to go back to the East Blues to fight if I have to. So he is ready to just abandon the Grand Line and go rescue the Barate if he needs to.
That did remind me that I thought when we watched Strong World, Luffy had a really similar line that was like, it struck out to me as odd, because he said something very similar, like, if the East Blue is danger, like, I'll go back, like, in a second, I'll and I wasn't really quite sure what he meant by that, but I think kind of seeing it kind of in canon for the first time in canon,
it is,
I feel like it makes a little bit more sense,
or
like I feel like I have a better understanding of like his character.
If our friends or family are in trouble, we will go back and help them.
Yeah,
that's more important than the adventure. So, yeah. But as he's saying all that, he has a massive gurgle. It's like, do you need something? And he's like, nope, fine. I'm not. And got the repetives. I'm not eating anyone's food but yours anymore. So, but I love this moment. At least I know Sanji's aware of what Pudding's up to. As long as he's not being tricked, I've done everything else I can. So thank you. And he jumps out the window. It's like, I made a promise. But it's not here, and he's like, exactly where he's headed.
and there's that, like, now that Luffy has clarity, it's like, oh, like, this is way easier, like, it's, we finally, like, okay, and it's almost as if they had never fought in the first place, and really, like I say that, Luffy understood what this was all about from the start, and so now that the air has kind of been cleared, it's like, all right, great, I'ma go.
Yeah. And all the while, Sanji's thinking about all the things that have been said to him from Judge, about Zeph, from Big Mom, Pudding, what he said to Luffy. He's like, nope, there's no turning back now, Luffy. And Luffy crashes into the town below, and it's like, all he repeats is got to go away to that spot. And you can see the adrenaline's starting to wane. Luffy is losing energy fast.
I mean, the fact that he's lasted this long. You mentioned earlier about, like, this is maybe the most we've seen Luffy get pushed, but, like, I think that it's really interesting that it is through a really unique circumstance now at this point. It's not just specifically like, oh, he fought Sanji and now had to fight, like, this entire army, but now it is, because I'm going to starve myself until my cook understands what's up. And but like I'm still running around all the place just to get to him. That like this really is kind of a unique circumstance that he is. He's being pushed to the brink in a way that's not just like, oh, he fought a guy who's really strong.
Yeah. Honestly, thank God he loaded up on cracker. That he got as full as he did.
Yeah, 12 hours of crackers.
Oh God. Do you have any more SBS? Basically asking, what's it take to become an editor at Shonen Jump, and basically just go to college and go into that kind of field of writing English, not Japanese, I guess, just knowing how to edit essentially. And then you once you got that, you can basically apply, and maybe you could end up being my editor. Who knows?
Wow.
So
I feel like it's not often you have somebody who's like, my dream is to be a manga editor. I think most people want to be an artist or a writer.
Maybe they look at the workload, it's like, yeah, maybe I just read other people's and help them out. Seems a little easier.
Yeah.
But man, we got some real perverts this time around with Nami, because the serve off Nami's body. It's like, what the hell?
The SBS of this episode are so cursed. They're so cursed.
Yeah, and just weird lying ones. It's like, what the heck is going on all of a sudden?
I have no idea. Yeah, they're especially weird, this set.
All right, chapter 854. What are you doing? And Zoro is a badass biker. Yep, that works. That fits.
Yeah. This cover is so Toriyama. It's so Toriyama.
That is very Toriyama coded. Also, Zoro does have an air of smoker to him. Right.
He does.
Like that.
He does. Yeah.
So, but we get into the chapter itself, and we see Jinbei and Nami together. They're basically going through the same thing that Luffy was, but they're being attacked, and it's like, okay, this is bad. We're being surrounded. So, what should we do? And it's like, hey, Jinbei's mutinying, and we got to stop this. And Jinbei's like, hey, watch my back. Take care of them from the rear. And she's like, okay, let's just leave us alone. We'll take care of this. And she lightning rods him. And that ends up being Chopper and the whole group.
Yeah. Whoops.
Poor Chopper. I like the detail that you can see a mirror in that hallway they're going past.
Yeah, that is a good detail.
But fortunately, thanks to that, they got into the mirror world, that they're safe inside.
Yeah. We got a little bit more of the crew back together.
Yes, it's slowly coming together. Again, it's the mounting of the, okay, we're ready for our counterattack.
Yeah. And of course, Brule is, is just kind of like, this is a betrayal, Jinbei. I like that we do kind of get we're kind of seeing what happened, because last time we saw him, Big Mom was like, okay, you can leave, but you're gonna have to spin the wheel of death. You got to pay the price. And that was what we saw. I think there's some people like reading the newspaper headlines about that or whatever,
where he rescinded and is like, oh, he's a coward and he didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
Type thing.
And I like that Jinbei's like, yeah, dude, there was some bad vibes from that wheel. I only sense death and malice. That, as we'd kind of seen before, and as Pedro here is like, yeah, you made the correct choice. Saying that his, my partner spun that wheel, he lost his life. And so, yeah, it's rigged. It's all rigged. And of course, Brule is like, of course it is, you fools.
Whether they are mere trespassers or faithful pirates employed in her service, she welcomes all comers and kills all leavers. That is Mama, and they just leave. She is quickly becoming this arc's Caesar.
Yeah. No, she is so much kind of just female Caesar right now.
And the poor train guy's like, oh, come on, this is getting really heavy. This is too much.
Yeah.
But, I
forgot that they were all this time. It was just the one guy. It was a diesel or whatever.
Yeah. but I like the implications of what's possible here, because at the Whole Cake Chateau, Prometheus is putting on a band-aid. He got a wound from Soul King, and it's deeper than I thought. It just started hurting again. It's like, Brooke might be our secret weapon when it comes to Big Mom.
He's got hands, man, and especially they're Big Mom's soul, and it's just like they'll be especially tough. But Brooke, he got a good Ditton one, so that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, oh, choose to compliment him rather than scold you for your weakness. It's the first time any of you have ever been hurt. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
And that's when it basically takes the mask off. It's like, you're gonna keep Boney here? It's like, well, that's rather rude. It's like,
right? Yeah, and he still doesn't know.
Doesn't she put like a little necklace around, or like she has something around, like it's like a little like almost makes him a keychain into a keychain.
Yeah. It's like a keychain. Yeah, and just kind of like, I'd rather carry him around with me for a little while than put him in the book. And it's just like, she really like these are the moments where like Big Mom really does kind of come off like a little girl collecting Pokemon.
Very much so. Oh gosh, but we see how Big Mom does not know everything. It's like, I didn't think they'd actually get through the seducing woods, but they're safe and sound in the prison library now. And she just says, I saw them, the poor suckers. Are you just going to kill them in there? It's like, yeah, after the ceremony. And that's when Brooke realizes, like, wait, what?
Yeah, hold on, what? Yeah, apparently Germa's getting drunk right now.
Got the barmaids out, making sure that taking care of them.
Yeah.
But of course, mentioned the Reiju was sniffing around, so I took care of it and made sure not to kill her, but only the leg, and then erased her memories. And it's like, hey, just be careful. You're my precious little bride. I don't want them to come back at you because of and cause a disaster. It's like, look on the bright side. I got to test the gun's power. Even their augmented humans don't stand a chance, and we get some dark imagery here. It's like, for the wedding kiss, lifts up, sees the third eye, bam, takes out the gun. You see it in shadow, like just Sanji's head getting like blown off. My God,
blown off. Yeah, yeah, that's brutal. Maybe one of like the most violent pieces of imagery we've seen in the manga so far.
It might be.
Yeah, just kind of the power. Like, I feel like there's something about just like we've seen people get shot before, but I think just the idea of like somebody getting shot in the head and seeing just all the blood splatter, even in shadow, the implications are pretty brutal.
Yeah, and then at that point, like, we'll have them surrounded, we'll have the guns, and we will fill them full of lead, and that means all of their science, all of their weaponry, mine, and that's the whole plan behind this marriage. And oh boy, Big Mom's got those crazy eyes, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really does just kind of go to show that like I'm kind of a sucker for these kinds of stories where we kind of have multiple factions all kind of vying, like they're all kind of at each other's throats, right? Like nobody's really on anybody's side, right? Mm-hmm. Like Germa are definitely like victims here, but like they also suck. So it's a weird case where the Big Mom crew are definitely like the villains here, but
Oh yeah. I love how there's just some random guy that fell asleep in Sanji's bed, but he's not back yet, so he's going to sleep more. So that allows the peacekeeper to think, oh, Sanji's just asleep, so we don't have to worry about him.
All right, cool, yeah. That's convenient.
But we get a breakdown because there's a meeting between all of the family, as they're like, okay, where all the straw hats? So no idea where Peckham's is still, although. Wait, he got shot off the cliff by Beige.
Yeah.
So, still don't know what's happened to him since then. But anyway, but yeah, we got Soul King, currently in Mama's possession. Pedro was in the third floor courtyard and blew himself up. I don't know how I feel about Tamago's new look.
Yeah, does he loop back around? Does he go like which came first, the chicken or the egg?
That is a good question. Oh no. And of the four in the seducing woods, there was the rabbit and the raccoon dog. We had a report from Brule that think she caught them. And I love how we see even more of the members. Like we got twins in there. We got like some girl in a backless dress and a sword. We got some guy that looks more like a plant. Some guy with spiked hair. We see our wide brimmed hat girl there.
Yeah.
I love the guy in the far right that looks like Captain Crunch.
Yeah, he really does. Like, who are you? Why is he 4 times bigger than anybody else?
Remember when we called Doflamingo's crew freaks?
Yeah, no. Well, and that's the thing, right? The Big Mom is literally a collector of freaks, and just like happens to include some of her own children.
Oh boy. But
Yeah.
anyway, with them captured by Brule, obviously, that takes care of them. The problems are these two, they beat Cracker and escape seducing woods. But we locked them up safe and sound in the underground prison library, so why are there rumors that they escaped? What's this about Jinbei showing up, Opera? It's groundless. Don't make me repeat myself.
Yep.
There's no reports at all. There's nobody down in the basement. I was working hard to torch them and get Lola's location out of them. Like Mama told me to. They didn't know nothing, so I had them burned to death. Was that a little overboard? Maybe. But, don't you doubt your older brother's word, do you, Montor? And it's like, I can't admit that I screwed up. Mama will pull all the rest of my lifespan. And again, that fear of this being the screw up is what is allowing them to, one, lack of information, but also just not want to admit, oh, I messed up.
Yeah, I do feel like in some regards, like that has to play into their downfall in some way.
It
right?
has
like
to.
The
It feels
the
so
way
similar to
that
how Doflamingo didn't know certain things, and that led to his.
Yeah. And I feel like there's even even then though, like with Doflamingo, I don't think anybody, like his crew weren't really afraid of like they did take their mistakes personally, but Doflamingo was always like, whatever, man, it's cool. Like he was always chill about it.
As long as you don't betray me, I don't care.
Exactly, right? Like he was all about protecting kind of his in-group. But Big Mom is so much more just kind of a loose cannon, just like you don't know what is going to set her off. And so that all of her children are kind of like, maybe I don't want to say some things.
Yeah.
So it is really interesting how well thought out this family dynamic is. And kind of what kind of the pros and cons of it are, of course.
Yeah.
Because, Big Mom's got the numbers, but there's also, again, this internal politics at play, too, which is really interesting.
Adds a nice wrinkle to it all. But I also like how Montor is like, all right, that means we got them all under control. Let's get preparations underway for the grand feast. Let's put on great waiting for our sweet little sister Pudding. And then he just talks to peacekeepers. Continue patrols. I can't trust him.
Yeah, again, but it's just like you're talking about this way about your own family, and it's like the lack of trust,
Mm-hmm. And I love this little like checking on Reiju, still looking out over the city, not really saying much. Luffy hungrily going through Sweet City to get back to where he was, and then back to the chateau where Sanji looks at the meal he made for Pudding and realizes I made it all their favorites. So just forget it. And he's just like, he's sort of reserving himself for how it is. It's like, no, short, but it's rich. They can escape on their own. Evil army and Vince folks will die, me included. This is just the best way to avoid her wrath on the crew. He's still worried about that. And then one of the random members of Big Mom's family comes around and is like, oh, hey, food. Thanks. I'm going to eat this. And he's about to eat the meat that, like, he makes him think about Luffy sitting there and starving. It's like, no, let go of that. That meat doesn't belong to you. And he kicks him away. And that's the solution. It's like, nope, you don't eat Luffy's meat.
Yeah. And God, this is the moment. I know that like the meat's like spitting down and he just catches it because of course he just has to be all cool about it. But this is sort of what gets Sanji to like finally wake up and realize he's like, yeah, what am I doing? Like my captain needs me, right? He remembered like, oh, Luffy said he was going to starve until he eats my food. and I have food for him right here.
And I know how much what he's like. He is absolutely doing that. So I gotta go. And it's that moment. It's like, yes. It's like it really does feel like the rebound. Up. It's like
exactly this is the rebound.
Love to see it.
But surely. Oh man, we've been through a lot.
Yes, we have. Another SBS, where just a silly thing where somebody noticed that there was an extra exclamation for the clinks for the cups, because there's only 7 there, but there's 8 clinks. It's like, oh yeah, there's some old hagga that was hanging around that she decided to have a drink too. It's just something.
So it was a mistake, right?
Yeah, it's a mistake. It's totally a mistake. Oh God, but yeah, it's another silly question. And then of course, like, what's Doflamingo look like underneath his glasses? What if he removes his glasses? And it's like, continue to the next SBS to find out what he looks like. So let's get that drum roll going.
Oda hyping it up. It's like, oh look, good timing. He's about to remove them right now.
Yeah, go figure. All right, chapter 855, our last for the set, Glurgle. Also, love this one because it feels canon.
Yes. Oh.
Young Law noticing that Korra's on fire as they roast yams over a pile of leaves. That's so good.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's adorable. But we check in on the guy that Sanji kicked, Master Bobbin. He's like, what was that? I heard an incredible noise. What made the hole in the walls? And he's not a member of the family. He's just a fighter for them, a bishop. He's Bobbin the Disposer with a bounty of 105.5 million berries. And
so he's small time.
He uses his bobbing ability to put everybody to sleep, and he's like, nah, don't worry about this. I'll dispose of the trouble. It's like at Mama's Tea Party, even the demons of hell make an appearance. So this guy's up to something now. It's like, whew.
Yeah.
Sanji kicking may not be a great thing.
I do think Bobbin was one of the guys that they showed when the army was making their way towards them.
Right. I do remember that Bobbin being mentioned in that. They're hyping up all the big members. Like, man, look at all the combined bounty there. She's like, holy crap.
Yeah, well, okay, the 100 million guy is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
He wouldn't add in that much to the total.
not in the grand scheme, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
And then this might be one of the funniest scenes.
This is so good.
This might be one of the funniest scenes we've had from One Piece in a while. And
I love that.
Okay.
This is with Big Mom. Like this is our big bad right here.
It's amazing.
She's sleeping with Brooke nestled like under her cheek, just like it's a new toy.
Yes. Finally, all the Straw Hats finally seeing just how huge she is, except for, of course, Luffy still has no idea what she looks like. But yeah, all of them are asleep, and it's like, oh, Brooke's passed out too, so what a lazy bum. It's like, she'd never willingly let go of such a strange creature. Don't worry, I can make it so she loosens her grip. And she's like, hey, it's me, Relay, help. And then they start like beating up Relay.
And then they just start beating her up.
They cover their mouths. Okay. And then Chopper goes to look through the mirror, it's like, see what's going on. And her eyes pop open like, ding, like, oh God, she spotted us. But nope, it's actually a fly that flew past. And what does she do? Smash!
Yes.
Just completely destroying the floor beneath. And that wakes up Brooke. Is like, just a fly. Back to sleep. And then, wait, we under attack? Here comes Prometheus. And here comes Napoleon. And then, of course, what is it? I forget the sun. Zeus. All of them just using their powers on that fly, and then they go back to sleep. It's like, oh no.
It's just those shocked faces from everybody.
Even Jinbei, like, it's not as over the top as the others, but just those eyes kind of bugged out. It's like, oh hell.
Yeah. Sorry, Brooke. You might be on your own for this one.
Oh my god, I love it so much. And then we just have to check in what Sanji's up to, but also the thematic elements of he's running
The parallels.
to deliver the food, just like he did with his mom in that flashback where it's raining.
Yep.
A dog is trying to get the food. And we go back and we find out they made a... they've used the mirrors to find materials to recreate Brooke.
From the execution grounds. That's a real person.
Yes, it is. And they attached some seaweed to make him have the afro. So we're going to make this happen. And as soon as I saw attempt one, I'm like, oh, we are in for some good stuff here.
Yeah. This is some Looney Tunes nonsense.
Yep. They just sort of prop brulee there. So she's stuck keeping the mirror open. So I was like, okay.
This is awesome. Again, it's just like Caesar.
Here goes Chopper. He's doing sneak. And then he sneezes. The hand comes down. I was like, you idiot.
Yep.
Chopper fails. And then here comes Carrot. It's like, okay, I got this. She jumps over. She's on Big Mom getting ready to like pop his snot bubble to wake her up. And then Big Mom's snot bubble gets even bigger that she has to weigh. And then here comes Prometheus shocking at her. So she has to run away. Attempt number 3, wedding cake. And she, with Pedro, she just rolled over.
Yep.
He did nothing wrong. She just rolled over.
Oh, of course. So, of course, it's up to Nami to finally get things right.
Fortunately, Brooke got loose from Big Mom's hand thanks to that last one. But she grabs hold of it, wakes up Brooke. We're here to save you. It's like, it's me. And then she's like, a ghost! Because he's the other skeleton. Which she has to shut him up. And she's like, are you still there, you obnoxious little fly? Tries to go for it again. And thankfully, thanks to Jinbei, they avoid the heavenly fire. And they get through the mirror and successfully rescue Brooke while that corpse is left on fire.
I think Big Mom has redefined what it means to be a heavy sleeper.
Very much so, but also not a fan of flies.
Yes. I think the escalating gag at first where it's like, oh, it's just a fly, and then they just nuke it.
It reminds me of One Punch Man when he's chasing the fly and he can't, like as powerful as he can't get the fly. There must be some joke about it like that. It's like no matter how strong you are, a fly is still always just going to be annoying.
There's something weirdly domestic about it, but it's also just completely over the top. And like we said, that might have been like the highest density of gags in like a single sequence in maybe a little while. And I like that. I feel like I had been kind of noticing this lately, and I had been meaning to bring it up for the past couple episodes. But like Whole Cake Island, I think is where I really start to notice that like when we skip scenes, we really do like we kind of see the beginning of fights and the end of fights a lot of time. Like where we saw Brooke get caught by Big Mom, and then we saw kind of that one spread to the middle of the speech, and then we see the end. But we don't really we don't really see how you go from point A to point B. And so like you're noticing that like Oda is kind of skipping past stuff. That he's like, all right, like we can move on from this.
You're kind of noticing it, but also don't miss it.
I don't miss it either, for the most part. There were a couple times I feel like, especially since the time skip, there was the one with the brothers in Fishman Island who got like off screen. That was the one where I was like,
it was early on where he didn't quite have the. Again, it was it's a style shift in how much he showed of fights and whatnot. I think he was still getting the hang of it. Now it feels
it does feel like
we're so story dense that I don't like. Yeah, give me the story.
Yeah. I think this is moving at the perfect clip. I want to make that clear. But I wanted to say that like I am noticing, we sort of get the fade in and fade out with certain encounters. So it makes it all the more extra special that he explicitly dedicated time to them saving Brooke in like the funniest way possible.
It's amazing, but it also helps out when you hear that, one episode of the anime only covered one chapter, it makes it seem like, oh man, how they stretch that out. But then you see natural points where they could stretch it out. Like Oda has allowed it to, like, written in such a way that you can naturally expand this stuff, whether it's through fights, whether you extend the gag of them trying to get this stuff and actually, having it more than be just a single panel of she rolled over this time, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's very well done economic storytelling. And I think to, again, my partner Amy, who, when she was reading early One Piece, she got bogged down by just how long the fights took. Mm-hmm. See, she's not too into the fights themselves. It's just like, all right, we get it. They're fighting. Yeah. It's not exciting for her. I think if she can make it to like the later parts of One Piece, this stuff where it's not like it happens. It does get to be the focus at points, but the pacing just ramps up.
And when you think about it, like the amount of variety in the kinds of things that are happening, like we got, like, I do think that, I think I bring up Dressrosa a lot because it's the easiest point of comparison because it was the last arc, the last major arc we hit. But like Dressrosa definitely has it has a story half and like a fight half, kind of very succinctly. Where in the first half, like I don't think the fights ever really go on for that long. Until once the second half hits and it's like, okay, here are all your fights, and even then there are ones that were like only kind of a chapter or two. Here, like we're kind of in the thick of it in Whole Cake, and like there hasn't really been one like complete fight, if that makes sense.
Our longest fight has been Cracker, just as much as we've seen of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's kind of interesting the way that Oda is kind of using fights to get characters into position and into specific places. But once they're there, like the point is kind of getting them there and kind of what happens after it. So like these aren't fights. Like I don't need to see Brook, kind of go toe to toe with Big Mom. Like I need to see that, oh, he got caught by Big Mom. And then we're going to take the time in the middle to give this cool speech about Sanji, and then the end. Then we come back and it's the end, and he gets captured. Like those are kind of the important parts.
Yeah, it helps us stay character focused.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Sanji has arrived on the battlefield where they were trying to capture Luffy, and the Peacemakers are still knocked out from that fight.
Jeez. You wouldn't know looking at this that one person did all this, or I guess two was not.
Yeah, two people did all that. Yeah. King Bomb is still split in the back, and you're like, King Bomb is dead.
Oh, King Bomb. Yeah, oh, poor King Bomb. That's also a heck of a continuity.
Oh, yeah. And Sanji's just going through the bodies like, okay, where are you? And he can just like, oh, is he okay?
Yeah.
But we go back to the mirror world, and this is Brook's time to, like, he shined before. This.
Yep.
Oh, so
we're not done yet. Yes.
It's like, okay. Pedro is like very happy. He's like, hey, you're alive. That's all that matters. Like, I thought I was about to die. Actually, oh, I am dead. It's like, I should have realized when I saw the heavy security that it would be impossible to make us copy of the road poneglyph. Forgive me for putting your life in danger. I was like, oh, what do you mean? It was because of your idea to infiltrate as a two-man team for the very sake of our crew that we had this golden opportunity in the first place. If we attempted to steal Big Mom's poneglyph on any other occasion, there would have been no way to avoid an all-out pirate war. And all the while, he opens up his skull, which
opens up his head,
which I love. Shocks Jinbei and Carrot because they haven't seen him do that before.
Yeah, like, what the heck?
And then just calmly, he's like, okay, anyway, here, Nami, here's your copy.
Yeah, like, wait, what?
He's more concerned about, oh, I'm so glad you're alive, Pedro. Like, it's so nonchalant to him. It's like, oh, thank goodness you're alive. I was so desperate. I couldn't come up with anything but the decoy plan. It's like, wait, Brook, do you mean you got it? It's like, oh, yeah, those are the poneglyph copies, of course. Just in the nick of time. Right when I finished with the third sheet, Big Mom herself appeared. It's like, you got it after all? And against all those guards, including one of the sweet generals, and you came out of it with Big Mom's poneglyph, something that any of the other emperors would kill to have. Can it be true? Oh, yes.
Freaking Brook, man.
Oh, it's so like. I love how he's just so nonchalant about it. That is amazing.
Yeah, he just got it. I think that the thing for me that I didn't realize at first was like, by the time he had encountered Big Mom, like by the time that the fight had already started, he had the poneglyph.
Yeah.
And
had
so,
the poneglyph and had stuffed it inside his skull, and of course they had no idea to look it in there.
No idea.
It's something that was established thanks to his stuff. Oh, it's so well done.
It's good. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And then it just of course Brook, of course, he gets the hug from Nami, and asks for a little bit of a glimpse and gets kicked. But that's we actually achieved one of the goals we got here for.
Yeah. All we have to do is get Sanji and get out. So
yeah, no, that is we've been talking before about like, man, it really feels like Brook has been here for a while, but he hasn't really had the chance to really like he's had little moments here and there, but like whole cake. Like Brook is on fire. Like it is.
Yeah, he is.
Like we're characterizing Sanji, but like we're also finally giving Brook and Nami and Chopper like more stuff to do. Like it's just
none of them have time for fear either. They just like
exactly
used to be. It's like I'm too afraid to go in and confront Big Mom and get that. And Chopper's the first one to go in there and make the attempt.
Yeah, when the chips are down, and I really feel that. Since we do only have half the Straw Hats here, that like we kind of I feel like you said, there's no real time to, we don't see Nami and Chopper being like, oh, we're the scared ones, So it's just everybody should rally around the cause, and so it's so satisfying to see Brook just like he did one of the things we came here for, just right out the gate, he had the poneglyph. Decided to like I would like to think, because Pedro was still running around, that he was like I need to run, but like I'm going to be the one to fight Big Mom so that she doesn't go look at
his big concern was Pedro, which is great.
Yeah that's so good.
But then we get to our final page where Sanji's still looking, and he finds Luffy thanks to the huge glurgle that comes from his stomach.
Yeah.
As he's found himself a position next to the body of King Bomb, and just that smile, the crying through it.
We started with Sanji crying, and we've ended with him crying tears of joy. Yeah, and it's just like. We've done the complete 180, right? We've gotten from Sanji we've literally seeing him losing all hope, to finally finding his captain, seeing Luffy just kind of more emaciated than maybe we've ever seen him. That drawing of Luffy just kind of like backed up against the tree, like it's kind of haunting.
Yeah, it's like he's always hungry, but now you see why. Like this is him at his most desperate, and give that boy some food. And like I saw that as our ending, and like for our set, and I'm like, that's perfect ending. Of course would love to keep reading and see more, but perfect ending as far as an arc of things accomplished. I love this set.
Yeah, man, no, this is God, dude. Whole cake is so good. I'm so glad we're here. I'm so glad we're finally in the thick of it.
Same.
It is. This is a lot of stuff I feel like we've been just waiting for a long time, and that we can. That again, I can't get over just how emotional it is. We're 850 chapters deep into this manga, and that we can have Sanji come back and look at Luffy like that, just like with tears in his eyes.
Yeah,
and that there's still like so much to be explored with these characters.
It's so sweet, and you just again the cast is like a lot of the story and stuff. Of course, is always amazing for One Piece, but the cast really. That's why I say time and time again, don't mind filler for the most part, because you get to hang out with the crew more.
Yeah, and the character writing on here is just, it's been top notch. This really is like the I really do feel like Whole Cake really is it's such an arc focused on characters and characterization, and just those dynamics really coming into the fore.
And of course we still have a ways to go before we actually end it, but I get why people put this ahead of Dressrosa.
Which is insane, right? Because we just come off of Dressrosa, and you're like, this might be one of your favorite arcs in the series. And I'm like, Yeah, I kind of agreed with you.
It might be the new favorite just because, again, that character writing, when you get that really good character writing, like they're two arcs that do two very different things. So,
yeah. And that's kind of like Oda's flexing
but...
his how he can always change things up, right? That like, oh, I can do this arc that's all about like the big picture stuff. Like Dressrosa, it really does feel kind of like bigger, just kind of constantly one-upping itself. And then now Whole Cake Island is like, we're gonna get in real close. We're gonna get in uncomfortably close.
And then it feels like we're gonna take those two elements that I've been doing and bring them together for. I mean, I've obviously never read it, but with the sheer size, the scope of what it seems to be, what he's been building to, I could see Wano being the magnum opus. Like, this is what he's been building to, as far as just flexing those skills about here's this half of the Straw Hats, here's this half of the Straw Hats. Let's bring them together and just make a true epic. Yeah,
I think there's definitely a case to be made for that, and that because that had. Even now, right? Knowing what we know, this is kind of a tangent. Knowing what we know about Wano at this point, knowing that it is kind of like the seeds of it had been sown in Punk Hazard, which even at this point, where we're at, we're what, like 2017, whatever. But like we're like Punk Hazard to Wano is like a decade plus of like storytelling kind of coming into the fore. Actually, I think. Yeah. I mean, we first heard about Wano / Kaido since I think Thriller Bark was when we first heard. Yeah, Thriller Bark I think was the first mention. Yeah, so like the way that this stuff has been kind of building together, and I was thinking about that earlier today too, where it is kind of like, I think when we look back when the manga is done, I do think. The Punk Hazard to Wano run really is kind of like one specific chunk of narrative, and I feel somewhat confident like everything post Wano is kind of the finale, is kind of how it feels. And so Wano is kind of the cap off to what we'd been building towards since Punk Hazard. And I would even include Whole Cake in that. Like there's stuff here in Whole Cake that's also really, really crucial. Just to kind of to things to build upon itself, and so I'd agree with that. The way that we're seeing this all come together. It feels like the crew just comes together even stronger than ever after these two arcs, like when they're finally together again. So, yeah, man, this arc is great. This arc is so good. Just as offhand, we do have another SBS where we do see the reveal of what's underneath the Doflamingo sunglasses. Another pair of sunglasses. What's under that pair? Return to page 1. Return to number 1. So just more and more sunglasses. Which is just the Kakashi joke. Yeah, the Kakashi joke. Yeah. Which my question is, when we finally saw his sunglasses like crack, when Luffy beat him, like, did both pairs crack? Like. Did he have it just like fall off? Does he have? He's getting shipped off to Impel Down. Does he have a spare drawer of glasses? Who knows? This is a gag, but I really do wonder what is under those sunglasses. I do too. Why is he hiding it? Like, there has to be a reason. You'd think so, but maybe just like, I want him to look cool and mysterious. Yeah, it could be as simple as that. It is a good look. It is a good look. It is, but yeah, that's our set. That's woo! That was a big one, man. That was dense. It was very dense. I was like, I read that. It's like, oh, this is gonna take a bit. Yeah. Still have not reached that 2-hour mark, but oh god, it's coming. It feels like it. Oh god, but can't wait for more. Really can't wait for more. So. With that, I believe we've said all we've wanted to say about chapters 851 to 855 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or simply BitNerd on BlueSky. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at? I am Brandon Bovia on Twitter and BlueSky, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job. And like I said at the top of the show, I had a whole panel talking about my job. It was pretty cool. Go check that out. Otherwise, I cannot wait for more whole cake. this, oh, I'm on such a high right now. This arc's so good.
It feels like, okay, it's time for the complications. It's time for the fights. And it feels like that's what we're getting to now.
Yeah, let's get some payback, man. Let's crash this wedding.
We've got two more members of the Sweet Two now, and we have the and we have the Vinsmokes. What's going to happen there? That's the big question. There is what role do the Vinsmokes play at this point? So we shall find out. But if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derrick Bittner. That's DerrickBitner to listen to the next episode ad-free 3 days early, as well as patron-exclusive bonus episodes. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 856 to 860 of One Piece. So until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
Anyway, I can't tell you how glad I am that you got away safely, Pedro.
The copy?
I wish our plan hadn't been so fraught with peril. But asking you to act as bait was all I could scrape together.
Hold on! Is this what I think it is, Brooke?
It's a copy of the poneglyph.